I'm Steve and welcome to my channel. I decided to do a bare metal respray on this car quite a few years ago, and then a few months after that I was in Tesco's and I saw these for sale, and I thought, oh, this is an ideal tool for when I do the respray, was to paint strip it and then just go over with this and rub it all over back to metal, and then all I have to do is spray it. Well, how wrong was I? Because this is the second door I've done and there is yet more filler here. So there's another crease, so it's almost identical to the other side, although the other side was here. And it's also shown up rust mark there and there and there. So it's not so straightforward as I thought. This is made by 3M and it's Scotch Brite, but there's no part number on there. But I have looked on the internet and you can get similar things to this, and I think it's a good idea. And I can actually use my sandpaper that's got the Velcro system, actually sticks to this, so I can put sandpaper on here as well and use that as well, and that's a very handy little tool. At this stage I'm not blocking it, I just want to get into every little crevice, so that has been very handy with the sandpaper. And I've been using 180 grit sandpaper. Now I've had a quick look with the straight edge and it's not too bad here, but the edges do fall away about a mil or two, which is okay. But there's a low spot there and there's a high spot here, and also along here obviously there's high spots where there's rust, because the rust just expands and pushes it up. So it looks as though I'm going to have to cut all this out along here and MIG weld it in, and I'm going to try to pull this out, or even try pushing it from the back. So I think this will be the first door that I attempt to do, because it's not so bad as the passenger side. As far as I know, the two front doors are okay, but now I'm wondering about this car, what's happened to it. I've nearly finished getting all the paint off of this door, and I left this corner section, and I haven't used any wire brush on here. What I've noticed is there's like rain marks here. I'm going to zoom in a minute and show you that. Now the inside of these doors didn't have any primer on at all. It was just one thin coat of cellulose gloss, the same as I use for the outside of the door. But as you can see, they didn't even wipe the rain off. It's like it's been out in the rain, and you can see rust marks here. So now I'm going to zoom in, just as a kind of a record really, before I wire brush it. So as you can see where those arrows are, there's that is rain marks, and it was all over, and it's also a little bit on the outside as well, at the top of the door along there as well. How much paint is on one car door? That much. So this is the front driver's door, and it's different to the others because I stripped the paint off of this door before I gave it to my friend to repaint back to black again, and this was the only panel that I did that to, I think. And I stripped it, I think I stripped it back to metal, and then I put this green primer on. Now I don't know if that's primer etch, it's definitely not 2-pack. And then it was a few weeks before my friend started to respray it, and as you can see, these patches, it's actually rust underneath there. It's got underneath the primer, and you can actually see it's gone rusty. So this was the problem all over, although the rest of the car wasn't back to bare metal. So now I've just started to rub it down with 180 grit here, and then we're back to metal. So now I'm going to go over the rest of it with the DA sander and try to get it back to the same as this. Well, it turned out that 180 grit was much too fine to do this door, so I did it with 120 grit on my sander and by hand as well, and it's come out, and there's one tiny little hole on the bottom right hand side by the radius. Well, this is the last of the 4 doors, and I was really disappointed when I saw this filler, because I thought the 2 front doors were okay. This is the passenger front door, and it looks as though it's the same. There's another crease to me. I'll wait until I get all this filler off and have a look. So it's a bit strange how 3 of these doors have got this crease here. So I was very disappointed. Well, that's all 4 doors done. This is the only door that hasn't got any rust holes in it, but unfortunately there's a crease. Now the distance from there to there on this crease is the same as the back door, so I reckon the previous owner had something in his garage, because it's also on the other back door. So I reckon he went in his garage forward one day and went in his garage backwards the second day and did all these 3 doors, and he missed the driver's door. We didn't do that. Anyway, this, as you would expect, is not too bad here. It's okay, but on this one, same as the other side, there's a high spot there, and there's a high spot here, and this is low where the crease is. And when I put it on this way, it's not too bad. It's about 2 mil there. So I could actually put more filler back onto that and fill it. Although I don't like the high spot. You can't fill out high spots. So I want some way of shrinking that or pulling this out up. I reckon if you can get this dent out, then that will make the high spot go down. But it's not as simple as that. Anything can happen with these things. So that's where I'm at the moment. So that's the very end of the 4th door, and that's the end of this video. The conclusion is that I have 3 doors with creases on them. So my next video will be the fun and games I have to try to remove those creases. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.